Hi, and welcome to New Game Plus, a podcast / YouTube channel where we go beyond the games to talk about the culture. I'm your co-host Corey, along with my brothers Cody and Taylor, who you will see soon in the clip. We created this YouTube channel as kind of a way to discuss all things nerds / technology, sometimes maybe in a comedic fashion for other people to enjoy and possibly interact with. What you're about to see is just a trial run of we kind of just did this to gauge how the flow of the show is going to go. We thought we'd take clips from it and throw it into a trailer just for your enjoyment, just to kind of get to know us and get to know our sense of humor. Since it doesn't have a ton of nerd substance to it, I wouldn't really compare this with what the show is going to be, but hey, it'll be fun to watch. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you see, so that you can find our episodes as they pop up. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye. Cody had a straight up stroke from being so terrified from it. He's foaming at the. Does that make you foam at the mouth? I don't care. He's got rabies now because he's so scared he contracted rabies.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to New Game Plus. My cleverly, designed plan to kill this zombie was going just swimmingly until I backed up into the minefield.
And that is a normal gaming mistake, mind you. We've all backed into landmines at some point in a game, right? Like,
oh yes,
that's
game.
Just you being human.
Pretty sure that's how somebody died on wooden overcoats too, under a piano, right? A dangling piano. They stepped on a landmine.
Odd place to put a landmine.
Excellent.
Anyway, continue.
So I go back, and it freaked me out. Like, I'm pretty sure I screamed. Like,
I was there. I saw it happen, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Taylor probably could have warned me. But,
it's not as funny.
No.
So,
I go back. I respawn. I go back for my stuff because it's there. It wasn't that far from our base, So I make my way back. And I'm like, okay, so I'll go in on the same side that I went in to die, right? Because I backed into this minefield. I hit the first mine that was in that path and died. So I go in, I go around in base, and I come back out, like, straight towards my bag. Well, I didn't take the exact path that I did running away from the zombie, and this one I saw, I think, a split second before it happened, and I was like, no!
I was still there, and I was still equally as unhelpful.
Well, see, it's really subconsciously Taylor's not telling you, because he's like, I really need to feel as good about myself as Cody does, so this needs to happen. This needs to happen for me.
No, man, I was rooting for my bro to get his belongings back, and I was like, yeah, go into the same place you were, get your belongings. It's great.
No, the best thing was there's another part of the story. Another part of the story is that Cody and I were in that same location, or at least one similar. I don't remember how that map works exactly, but
it wasn't.
He was sitting there. He was sitting there telling me about it, and as he's telling me about it, I step on a landmine and blow up, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding. This is so embarrassing.
So I did say there were three.
So I go
back.
He did it a third time. I wasn't there for the third one.
So no, he had left, and I was going back for my stuff.
I had successfully looted the place at this point. I was packed with medical supplies.
he's trudging his way back to our base, and I'm going back, and I'm looking now. Okay, like, I'm looking down at the ground, and I'm like, okay, I see a mine there. I see a mine there. Okay, now I can see the path to my bag. So I go and I pick my way to my bag, and I get my stuff, and I fully loot my stuff, and I'm like, yes, I got it, and I just run forward. There were 7 more mines between me and Freedom.
It's funny because you could almost put that under the definition of insanity, because you did the same thing 3 times, assuming you would get out with your stuff.
I think close. I think
he's just recreating. He's recreating the scene from one of the Rambo movies. It was like the 4th one that came out like 20 years later, or 40 years later, where all those little Asians are running through
the Burmese.
Yeah, is that what they are?
Yes.
They're running through the minefield, but I just picture that happening, but every single one of them is Cody.
Just like a bunch of me's running around. Well, so the best part with that third one is Taylor heard the explosion from a distance. And I didn't say a thing.
For a second, my first reaction was, he didn't do it again. That was something.
There's no way.
He planted a mine very strategically so a zombie walked over it. He's using his enemy against his enemy. Until I heard there was silence, I assumed that he would come out with a victorious roar of like, I did it, I used the mines against somebody else. But his silence told me a different story. It's hard to follow this train of thought right now because about 5 minutes ago, Cody or Corey, one of you mentioned the movie The Happening, and my mind's been on that for the past 5 minutes because I built a barrier in my brain around the fact that I saw that movie, and it kept hold of all the awful memories for the longest time. And then you said that, and all of a sudden I see Mark Wahlberg's face like, it's the plants. So I'm.
Oh, that's the one where they're all like falling off roofs and stuff.
Where they're stabbing themselves in the neck with pencils, and Zoe Deschanel is there for some reason. Yeah.
Laying down in front of lawnmowers.
Yeah. That, and then also for people who have seen Sinister, also someone lays down. Someone gets tied down in front of a lawnmower in that one, but that's a whole different thing.
Oh, I can relate that to Shiki, which is an anime in which they tie down and hold a female in front of a tractor that is backing up, and you get to watch her head get exploded by a.
This is a more common method of death than I was aware of.
Yeah, I'm sure that when John Deere was making their tractors, it was one of the things they put in mind. Like, we need to make sure that
this can crush a human.
Yeah, that we can get the wheels over a body, and the blades are strong enough to go through bone.
It's the modern equivalent to the cheesy Western villain tying down the girl on the railroad.
On the railroad tracks, yes! I was just thinking that I was mowing my lawn last summer, and my blades are getting really dull, so if I ran over somebody with my dull lawnmower blades, that would be the most agonizing, grueling thing in the world. It's mostly just a constant slap in the face.
It's like taking a potato peeler and just slowly going like this over the potato as it slowly whittles down. Yeah.
Oh,
this
God.
Is turning into a horror podcast.
Oh, God.
I don't see why not. We need to be sponsored by No Sleep, I think.
Yeah.
David Cummings, where are you?
This episode was sponsored by Shudder.
Well, that might motivate me to finish the No Sleep thing that I'm writing, that I have like half a page written for.
Yeah, do that. That's all I've got for that. I would, and then I know that if I bug Cody long enough, it'll take him 5 or 6 years, but he'll get it done.
You know, I wrote the one, and then I wrote the one comment on that one writing prompt, and that's my
that's your contribution or your effort.
Hey fans, drop your thoughts in the comments if you want to hear Cody's no sleep story.
If we hit 400 likes, we'll tie Cody down to a chair till he writes it.
I thought you were gonna say tie me in front of a tractor.
We'll have
if we don't hit that 400 like goal, these windows are gonna get a lot bigger for Taylor and I.
No. You'll just what we'll do is I'll have to cosplay a tractor tire right here.
No,
either that or hey, well, there's railroad tracks very close to all of us, so we can tie you to that.
No, the lawnmower would work because people used to write on typewriters. So we could just put him in the lawn with a typewriter and a lawnmower, and every time he stops, we just rev that. Because you know the lawnmower never starts the first time, so you just rev it once, get him going again.
I don't think you know what a tractor is. You don't rev a tractor, but I see what you're saying.
I'll have to,
I use a push mower.
You guys would be the sadist to tie my hands together, so I have to type like.
Yeah, but that's just for me. I have space for me.
Spacebar.
Yeah, and you're using a typewriter, so you have to move the paper. So you have to just flop your head.
Don't you have to hold something down when you do that? So Cody's got to finagle his shoulder and then.
You had better figure it out. This is getting weird really fast. So, going back to our original point, this episode was sponsored by a no sleep story where we try to get someone to write something with a thread of lawnmower next to them.
A dull one. Play it like a potato peeler, man.
You would just hear a progressive thump, 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 thump. As homeschoolers, PE was every once in a while you got to go to your dad's works rec center and play either basketball or tennis. To our defense, though, we spent a lot of years playing Mario Tennis, so we pretty much were professionals when we got to the court.
Absolutely.
All I have to do was
love.
At 17's not a score in tennis. I think that you did that on purpose.
We were homeschooling.
I do know if I press B enough and I slice it, I'll get a blue trail behind the ball. So
Yeah.
that was my whole goal going into it.
No,
But
you got a short. You got a
press
short shot. Nope, you got a short shot. If you hold B and press A, short shot, and
That's
then you
called
got
a drop shot. It's called a drop shot. You uncultured swine.
Okay, yeah. So a short shot first, and then once they hit it back to you, then you lob it over the back of their heads, and you watch Yoshi run for his life, but he can't get there. We all know.
I spent too many years playing Mario Tennis playing tennis virtually to let you call it a short shot.
Short shot. It's absolutely.
That's okay.
Short
I just
Cannon.
I'll just
Cannon
take
short
Boo
shot.
and do I'll just take Boo and do a blue serve from right to left, and nobody can ever return it ever. So.
Yep, you're right.
Now I'm upset.
Why did we play so much Mario Tennis and stuff? I was RuneScape.
Yeah, that's a life-ruining game.
No.
If you saw my time spent in that game, you'd be like,
Pull it up. Let's see.
I always try to drop on people like my playtime in certain games because there are certain games that I grind like incessantly, and I always am able to like pull the trump card on so many people with my RimWorld hours, and then you guys come in with these obscene hours of gameplay. I've clocked. I think RimWorld right now for me is 550 hours, and apparently that's child's play compared to.
You say 550 hours?
Yes.
That's unacceptable.
Are you? I can't tell by your inflection if you're about to tell me it's not enough or that it's too much.
That's too much, my man. That is too much.
So,
hang on. I got it.
I can guarantee you, I am not.
I've spent 100.
highest-
Oh my god.
I can't see the screen.
24 times 116 days plus 15 extra hours. That's how much time I've spent in RuneScape.
I can't see what you're where is it?
Oh! You guys can't see my calculator. That would be a grand total of 2,799 hours.
Yeah. Okay. So what? How about you keep your judgments and you put them towards getting your archaeology skill up? All right.
Hey, it's at 117. Don't hate.
in all fairness, though, how much of that time was actually spent playing RuneScape
That's
and
valid.
not AFKing skills?
I would say half. Half.
And there's RuneScape for you folks.
Yeah. You.
Hours played. I've got a much smaller sample, but it's also interesting because of how recently this game released. So I started playing Lost Ark on the 8th with the founders pack start date, right? So it's not been 2 weeks yet. So last 2 weeks, 79.2 hours.
I will leave this call. You have a family. You have a wife and children.
Why do you neither
That's
of
a
you
funny,
know
Corey.
that?
That's a funny joke.
It's
Corey,
a
that's
hilarious
funny.
joke.
That's
Thank you for
funny.
laughing with me.
Look directly into the camera and tell everyone exactly how much pop culture knowledge I have.
It all consists of anime, horrible anime.
I was gonna
shows.
say unless it's anime, he's calling up zeros. Oh,
You got it.
context knowledge of The Office from his wife.
Okay, so Taylor,
Yeah.
just so you know, aquaphobia and hydrophobia are the fear of water in general. Claustrophobia is fear of enclosed spaces. Phasalophobia is the fear of like the vastness of the ocean in general. Bathophobia
That's
is
not a thing, and I
fear
shame
of
anybody that has it.
deep places, tunnels, caves, and the depths of water, which is
Yep.
probably the closest thing to what I have.
See, I don't have like fear of water. I don't have claustrophobia,
don't either.
thesophiliac or whatever you said, mesothelioma. What was it you said?
Phasalophobia.
I don't think that's a real thing, and I shame anybody that claims to have it. But I have like this terrifying like fear of like being stuck in a pipe in the ground that's just I'm not big enough for. My arms being trapped at my side.
Ooh.
Like
Never, ever.
Now you have it
never,
too.
Ever play Heavy Rain. Never, ever play Heavy Rain.
Well, there's a no sleep story that actually involves what I said.
Heavy Rain is a game where this person is looking for their lost child, and he ends up dying because he's stuck in a pipe and it fills with water and he drowns.
Oh, cool. Well, that's cheerful.
To bring it back up on the topic of mesothelioma, I'm so happy you brought it up.
It's one of my frequent content, or one of my frequent.
I love talking about
conversation topics.
mesothelioma. I actually can't even point out what it is off the top of my head. The reason I bring it up.
Has
Yes.
much
Okay. Okay. No.
Marioma.
Stop. Because that's what I'm about to bring up. So my friends got me a live, laugh, love sign for my house because they said everyone needs a live, laugh, love sign, right? And so they got me one. But they wrote on it. They wrote like it says live, laugh, love in big letters. And then if you look at the picture around it, they wrote little things in like the corners of the frames and stuff. And so one of them is like Bush did 9/11, and then like one's like eat a dick. So like, you know, they wrote things like that. On like on the underside of the frame on the top, it says if you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, you may be entitled to stuff it.
I've been trying to reach you regarding your car's extended warranty.